Jason Clarke is here today for our next product demo. He's a VP of Sales at Pleasant Solutions, parent company of Sheetcast, and has built a career around helping businesses innovate and grow by providing practical solutions and recommendations. Under Jason's leadership, Pleasant has seen several years of growth, including a successful expansion into the US. This includes developing channel partners, corporate accounts, and launching new products and services. With the launch of Sheetcast, Jason will leverage his experience as a consultant designing Excel-based systems for businesses. He will identify markets that rely on the familiarity of spreadsheets that will benefit by leveraging their existing Excel expertise to create custom web apps.
Thank you so much. Good morning, good evening, and good night, everyone. And never has that been so appropriate as to when you're on an international conference with Zoom. So welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I want to spend a little bit of time just introducing a few thoughts and concepts. But before I even do that, I want to invite Catherine up on stage.
Hi.
Hi, Catherine. How are you?
I'm great.
Good. Catherine has a couple of I won't even, I'll bring them up. I won't even introduce them. They speak for themselves. And Catherine, while I'm doing that, maybe you can just chat about what I'm going to show.
Yeah, I actually run a Facebook group for Excel consultants, and we're just going to put the link to that in the chat to the page. And we've been posting some of these comic strips or cartoons, sort of with the same character, like a Mr. Excel guy. And the first one that you can see here, it has a very film noir kind of feel. I'll just give you guys a chance to check it out. But our Excel guy is very committed to Excel, and we've had some really great responses to these cartoons. I'd love to show the other one as well.
Sure. Let me bring that up for you. The way I wanted to do it's not working. Okay, give me 1 second.
It's really
we've had quite a few shares on some of these as well, Catherine, right?
Oh yeah. Actually, I posted it on my LinkedIn, and there was one about developers, and there's been a lot of responses from people who have attended the event, which has been really great.
Let's take a look at this one. I like this one.
Well, good luck today, and yeah, if anyone's interested, the link will be in the Facebook. And thank you so much for having me up here to show these.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Catherine. Thanks for joining us on stage. I really enjoy this, and it takes pressure off me to come up and start the whole thing with a joke, right? They always say start your presentation with a joke. Right now, I think I'll also invite my good friend Will to join me up on stage.
Hello, Jason.
Hello, Will. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Hi, everybody.
Just hanging out in your office, are you?
Yeah. You notice my piano. I compose a lot on that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I bet you do.
It's a digital backdrop.
Must be hard to compose on a digital background.
Well, it sure beats my good old green screen. So,
awesome.
Hello, everyone.
Before I dive in, I'll just introduce myself properly. We'll introduce Will, and then we'll get started. So my name is Jason Clarke. I'm Vice President of Sales for Pleasant Solutions / Sheetcast. And I'm here today. I'm going to take you through Sheetcast and explain a little bit to you about what it is. Very powerful product that we're only going to have time to kind of go over the surface of. But I think it's going to resonate with a lot of you. Will, do you want to do your own introduction?
Absolutely. So my name is Will. I am the business analyst at Sheetcast here. And I do a lot of things around here, but the part of my role that pertains particularly to Sheetcast is I help a lot of clients integrate Sheetcast into their organization and into their process and into their workflows.
Awesome. Thank you, Will. So I want to, if you guys will indulge me for a few minutes, I want to tell a little story that helps kind of set up Sheetcast. So when we talk about things being innovative without changing anything, that's the title of our session, Innovation Without Changing Anything. It's kind of a hard, like, how do you innovate without something changing? Something has to change. But I've seen, and maybe some of you have seen, and if you haven't, you should go and look for Derek Thompson's talk about Maya principles. And Maya is a principle that was developed by a gentleman named Raymond Loewy, who is actually, you would know his work everywhere. Coke cans, the Air Force One, the president's airplane, was actually an industrial design done by Raymond Loewy. And he had this concept of Maya, and Maya stands for most advanced yet acceptable. And it's a principle that provides users with enough of what they already use and understand that's balanced with enough new features that it's easy to adopt. So I'll walk you through a little example. I remember as a young child, actually, that there was a buzz for a while about video phones are coming. This is probably, I'm going to say, early 80s. Video phones are coming. And I remember the pushback was, what? I don't want a video. Like, that's an invasion of my privacy. I don't want people in my house on my phone. What if I just got out of the shower? What if my hair is messy? What if I don't have my tie on? And it was kind of out of hand rejected. Now, it was also very early technology, but it was so much different than anything else that we'd seen. So how did we get to a point where now I'm talking to you around the world, and we're all very used to and spending a lot of time on video? So a couple of things had to happen to get us there. Personal computers arrived in our offices. Email became a way, electronic mail, I remember it being called back then, became a way for us to communicate between business associates. Then the computers came into our home, and now we were familiar with emailing, so we started emailing our friends and our family. At the same time that was going on, we got these things, these mobile stereos. Started off with something you'd carry around on your shoulder in case you wanted to spontaneously break into dance. Did anybody get the break dance thing there? And then we were able to put them into our pockets in the form of Walkmans. And then along comes the iPod, small pocket size. We were familiar with pocket size music players. A little bit of an odd interface, but it was familiar enough that we were excited to be using it. The other thing that changed is, eventually YouTube came along, and we were now used to putting ourselves on the internet for the world to see. We became more comfortable with it. Then came a merging of things. So computers and music merged in the form of an iPod Touch, the next generation of iPod. So we became familiar. Oh, I already know what a computer is. I already used to having my music in my pocket. This is a great device, and we were all very excited about it. Then, now that we're untethered from the phone on the wall in the kitchen and we're familiar with cell phones, the next merging happened, which was iPhone merging with now three very familiar things: computers, the concept of instant communication 24/7, for better or for worse. And music and entertainment were with us all the time. And then very shortly afterwards, we started to get introduced to the concept of video calls. So on my device, I can now bring people into my home, bring people to any room in my home, and share and communicate with them. Now, it's a little bit of a long story, but I wanted to drive home the point of all of those little steps that had to happen before, and it took 30 years in this case, before we were comfortable with video communication. Nothing really changed along the way, small little incremental things, but everything always felt familiar. And that brings us to Sheetcast, the evolution of spreadsheets, as we say. Sheetcast is an truly an evolutionary product that has so much innovation packed into it. As of about 2 weeks ago, I believe we have 5 patents on Sheetcast that, excuse me, that leverages a massive amount of invention and technology that went into it. But the secret was we had to make it familiar. And so what Sheetcast does is it leverages Excel, something that is, I think there's about 750 million users worldwide using Excel on probably a daily basis. And obviously everybody here is. So it's ubiquitous. Everybody knows it. Everybody understands it. And we built Sheetcast to leverage that infrastructure, to leverage that familiarity, and allow you to build your own custom web apps in an instant in some cases. And that's what I want to talk to you about, and that's what I want to show you today. Will and I are going to show you a few things. So thank you for indulging me on that. Will, before I get started, is there anything you want to add, or can I just jump right in?
You can go ahead and jump right in.
Okay, give me 1 second to pull up my screen then. As we're going, I'm pretty casual in my presentation style. So as we're going, if you guys have comments, leave them as we go, and we'll try and get as many comments in as we can.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye out in the comments for you, Jason, as best I can. And
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Oh, there we go. Nope, why isn't it sharing? Technical issue. Please hold.
You see, folks,
Can you play us?
I was just going to say, I just wanted to mention to all the people out there, this is very much an organic and unscripted and very fluid demo. I can assure you that I am a real human. I am not a deep fake AI. So
I was going to ask you to just play a little song on the piano back there.
Yeah. But
I actually might have to leave the chat and come back in. It seems like my interface has frozen and is not responding.
Certainly.
Will, I will be back in a moment. I apologize.
No problem. I do apologize, folks, for the technical issues. Maybe while we're all waiting, if I could share my screen. Oh, Jason, you are back.
Okay, let me see if I can get that share to work this time.
Excellent.
There we go.
There we go.
Excuse me just 1 second. Excuse me. I've only got to get my voice to last for another 45 minutes or so. Oh, you guys can't hear me all of a sudden now. Okay, hold on. Technical. There we go. Am I back?
Yeah, you are back. Yeah, your mic is
Sorry
good.
about that, guys. Okay. This is not the window I actually want to share to begin with, so I'm just going to move this out of my way and go back to here. There we go. Okay. Sorry, folks. I want to start off by showing you a little bit about what Sheetcast produces. So as you may have noticed in our video, we can create some pretty cool pages in literally just a few seconds. And this is just a quick example of my inventory manager app. This is my dashboard. And creating all of this from an existing spreadsheet is literally a minutes long task. So on this dashboard, I've got a fully functional calendar. I can drag, I can drop, which updates data. I can add new, I can delete, I can edit everything in this calendar. And it is a working calendar. I can switch between views. I've also got, excuse me, oh, I have browser issues now. Technology is not going to be my friend. I've also got a fully functional map that is driven off of my spreadsheet. I've named this warehouse 481 and listed the available products. I've got a tabs view here that shows me my inventory, the ability to receive new items, all of which are just simple views right now of different parts of this simple spreadsheet. And I apologize, I've got my resolution set quite low so that everything appears bigger. But you can see here, this is a full spreadsheet with all kinds of things going on in it. Very simple spreadsheet. I've kept the data simple on purpose. And from it, I've produced this. So lots of questions, I'm sure, about, well, how do you get a calendar and a map and all the rest of it to generate? A lot of that comes back to the patents that we have on this technology. But let me go. I'm gonna come back to this page in a little while. What I want to do right now is just show you a little bit of the familiar environment. So I've got a small equipment manager app here, very small, and it's that way on purpose. I just want to use it for demonstration. It's got two pages, an equipment manager page and a job manager page. Now, they don't appear to do anything right now, so let me go in and show you how to make them do some stuff. How to make you do some stuff. What an elegant choice of words. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to open up in my sidebar. By the way, this is where I should introduce. This is where Sheetcast lives, is in the sidebar here. Of course, I can close it, open it up again, and continue to work with it. So I want to go into an equipment app that I've already made. You can see it pulls up the related spreadsheet, and you can see my equipment manager and my job manager pages. So let's do a couple of simple things here. Let's do some comments. Actually, you know what? Yep, no, this is right. Let's do some comments. You guys are all of you, probably more familiar than I am with all of the different Excel functions. Sheetcast has its own functions built in, and they typically start with equals web. And in this case, the first one that I want comes up, web chat. What do I want to chat about? I might want to chat about equipment, or this piece of equipment, the job status, the site. It's up to me. It's simply just select the cell, hit enter. So now I've created a site-specific chat room. Fill that down, and it's ready to go. I also can choose to do some certifications. What do you mean do some certifications? Well, I'm going to attach some files. So equals web file. You get little hints over here as well. Equals web file. What do I want to attach it to? I want to attach the certification to the digger. Now I've made some changes. Let's fill that down so I can also attach certifications to the other equipment and upload those changes. And before we go and take a look at what that does, I'll take you into a page. So this equipment manager, this is my entire spreadsheet, and I don't have anything else going on. But you can see here, I can pick my source. So I'll click on my range of cells, is what it says right now, because that's the source I chose. But I can also choose an entire sheet. I can also choose an external data source. But for right now, I will stick to range of cells. And choosing the range of cells is as simple as click of a button. So we're done. Save and exit. I'm going to overwrite some changes that I made earlier. So let's go take a look at our equipment manager. Let's find the right app, equipment manager. So what have I got here? I have now got a certifications bin where I can actually go and attach files. I've got some purchase orders here. I'll use those and save them to the sheet or to my app. And we'll talk a little bit more about what's the difference between the app and the sheet in a few minutes. Oh, I'm having all kinds of browser issues today. This is all waited until I get on main stage. Give me 1 second. There we go. Okay, so you can see the icon changed, indicating that I do have files in here. And I can then click and download those files. Comments. I've now got a chat window that when I click on it, I can actually start a chat about the digger. Needs new cert. And I get a time and user stamped comment about the fact that this piece of equipment needs a new certification. Somebody like Will, another user, might come in and say we've hired the engineer to come and do the inspection and issue the new cert, and we can go back and forth for as many users as are allowed to be involved in this chat. So there's two pretty quick functions that dramatically change everything, I'll say, in opposition to the title of the talk, but without really changing anything at all. It took me just a few seconds to do that. I'm going to go back into the same sample functions. And now I want to do something that I think is perhaps the coolest thing, one of the coolest things that we do. And maybe I'll just do it and I'll let you guys watch. And I won't do too much explaining. So I'm just going to do a new Sheetcast function called equals web set values. This gives you a hint of what's going on next. Update, change. We'll do change. This gives you the next hint of what I'm doing next. And I'm going to do, let's see if I can get this right the first time. I can't even spell if correctly. That's a problem. If, let's say, this equals open, then closed. If not, then open. Oops. If I've made a mistake, I can hear all of you going, you made a mistake. Let's find out.
Well, you'll maybe at least hear me say it, Jason.
Oh, I did make a mistake. Where did I make it? If pt equals open, then closed. Close and open.
I think the destination cell. So after the
I forgot the destination. You're right.
That's
Thank
right.
you. Thank you very much, Will.
I told you.
That's why Will's here.
That's why he keeps me around, folks.
So the next thing I'm doing is, let me just make sure I'm in the right spot here. I'm going to just do this just to be sure. Telling it where I want that information to go. Now, there we go. Okay, so because I kind of messed that up a little bit, what I did is I created a button, and I'll show you the button in a moment. I'm going to fill it down. That is going to change the status from open to closed depending on its current status using a very simple formula. The way I did it using Sheetcast was I first named the button, change. I then set the value with the formula that I had. So you can use whatever formulas you want in there. And then I dictated the destination, which was this cell. So let's go see what that looks like. I'm going to overwrite things that I've done before. I'm choosing not to download and upload. Okay, we'll go back and we will now go to our, keep doing the wrong one, job manager. So nothing particularly fancy about this, except for the fact that now when I click my button, I can update the statuses and change them to what I want to be, or I can change them back. This is where I think people, like, it's like one of those events where everybody's like, oh, wow, that's awesome. So feel free to clap on the comments if you'd like. I'm a little needy as a presenter, aren't I? Okay, let's move on to some other things. So you can see that there's built-in functions that allow you to do things that you cannot do typically in a spreadsheet that you have. And this is the key part. You have full control over how you want to use them. We're not giving you a tool that puts you in a box to use a certain set of parameters. We're taking your entire Excel world and helping you get it online in the form of an application. And I hope you guys can appreciate that, because this is the innovation. This is the thing that is amazing, but yet every part of it feels familiar. We're used to apps online now. We're used to buttons that work. And we're used to spreadsheets. Nothing's really changed, right? It's still kind of the same thing.
The only big change that comes in my world is when our clients are successful about this, then I am out of a job.
That is true. So Pleasant Solutions, the parent company of Sheetcast, has been around for about 15 years now. We've got clients around the globe, everyone from NASA, the White House, Buckingham Palace is a client of ours. And we typically provide high security software products, like we have a high security password manager, or we're doing custom development work. And this is going to change custom development. It is going to put some businesses in a situation where they're going to have to adapt to this emerging technology, learn how to use it to help their clients in new and different ways, and much more affordable ways. Let's go look at this sales funnel. This is an interesting one because what I've done there is, in my first example, is kind of shown you some new functions. Let's talk about those functions in a broader sense. So this page, again, very simple page, I'm keeping it simple on purpose, is essentially a form with some data validations and dropdowns that I've created using nothing other than Excel. Everything that I did to create this, you're already familiar with. And now, I've already had some data input here, so Google's helping me out. I can pick the date that I want this closed. I can say it's 50% likely. It's that good friend of mine first, who's at the proposal stage in the South region, selling products, so on and so forth. And I click save. Oh, I probably should have shown you this first. So if I had shown you this first, and I can go back and do another example. This line is our original line that was already there. And you can see again here, I can comment. This comment is related to the client. So I can do that. I can do my chats. I can attach my purchase orders. And I could do the same thing here as well. It's not showing up here because I've got to go to a different screen to have it show up initially. So I've now added data, and I can round trip that data, which is another part of our patent as well, one of our patents, by going back to my spreadsheet and going into my sales funnel app and downloading that data. There you go. So, excuse me. One of the points I want to make here is, yes, I can go and upload and download data, and I can pull the data down if I need to put it back into my spreadsheet, but it's not required. What we're finding with the people that we've introduced it to is they use Sheetcast and Excel to build an app, and then they kind of forget about it until they need it again. They go and work with data in the app. So they've already built the app functions that they need to work with the data. The only time we find there's typically a need to go back into the spreadsheet is when you want to structurally change your app. So for example, I showed you this page in our app. This is our data capture page, or our form, if you will. But it's a form driven purely by Excel. There's no third-party forms going on here. This is just from Excel. Again, I'm just going to write over any changes. Well, there's no changes been made. It's just giving me the warning. I just want to show you this page real quick. So this is one of our advanced pages where I can choose a worksheet or create a new worksheet. If I just click on this, I'll show you. Might have to zoom this in a little bit. And Will, maybe just remind me if I'm using Zoom. Just remind me if things aren't very visible.
Yeah, no, that particular window is visible.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I can choose, just go back here, any one of these sheets, a range of cells, a defined name to create this template from. And I could even create a new tab and a new template. I won't do that right now. I can make little functional changes, like this might say, I don't know, add. Maybe I want to show the title page, maybe I don't. These down here are kind of the innovative and interesting things. And Will, if we have time later on, might show you kind of how these work properly. But essentially, these are all the headers that are in my rep forecast spreadsheet that are automatically pulled into this, this template cells window, so that I can just start dragging and dropping names and values to do the layout that I want to do. So drag and drop, again, something that's very familiar to all of us. All of the formatting is just our usual formatting tools that we all know how to use in Excel. Some of us better than others. Mine are very basic. But you can create and add changes to it. You know, maybe I want to take these two and just put a quick border on them. And put a color so we can see it. And save it in Sheetcast. Come on, voice. We only got a little further to go. And then we can go back and look at that new opportunity page and see the change. So again, I need to do some formatting in Excel that I already know how to do just to fix something that happened. So, excuse me, pardon me, I'm sorry, that was probably quite loud. So again, everything familiar. You already know how to do this layout page. You already know how to drag and drop. Then we've given you some additional functionality here as well. Maybe I'm just going to pause there for a second and to see, Will, are there any comments in the chat yet?
There are. We have a question from Alvaro. I hope I pronounced your name correctly, regarding pricing and whether or not we can do an entire HRM with this. So maybe, Jason, did you want to talk about pricing first?
Yeah, I'll just comment at a high level that the pricing is very affordable. We're talking about $12 per user per month. We also have another pricing model that is $10 per column in the spreadsheet. I'll tell you why we have those two options is because we want to help customers find the most efficient model for their use case. So I always use the example, imagine a research institute in a university that has thousands of spreadsheets with thousands of columns in it. At $10 per column, that's not an affordable solution for a research institute. Maybe a large corporation, but not a research institute. But that research institute, typically, they have small teams. There's maybe 3-5 people in there. So instead of $10 per column times thousands, it's now 3 times 12, $36 a month for them to build unlimited apps with unlimited columns. The other scenario might be I'm a business. I have dozens, hundreds, thousands of clients. I want them all to be users of my app. That requires the subscription. So $12 again times thousands, not sustainable for my medium size or small business, maybe for a large corporation. But maybe I'm only sharing 10 columns of data with those people. So now it's just $100 a month. So we have found a way to make the pricing options very, very affordable, dependent on use case. And not every use case needs to be the same. You may have some scenarios where, yes, I'm doing research over here, but I have clients over there. So I need my research stuff to be per user, but I want my client stuff to be per column. I probably answered that more than I need to in this conversation, but I hope that helps. Maybe just take one more and then we'll jump back in if there's another one, Will.
Sure. And this is one that I can answer. Alvaro also asked, can you do an entire HRM with this? And the short answer is yes. The long answer is depends on whether you want to build something that is insanely complex that matches, say, the capabilities of Sage or something. And of course, I'd imagine you wouldn't want to be running something that complex out of spreadsheets. Not to say that that isn't impossible, but of course there's a return on time investment. But for most cases, an HRM system or components of your HRM system, yes, can definitely be built in Sheetcast. Now, as a BA, it's kind of funny. I do a lot of client interactions as well with clients, big and small, users of large ERP systems, such as Sage. And one of the commonalities, and I'm sure there's a lot of people here can relate to, is can I export this into Excel, or can I, right? I mean, we all use Excel to fill in those gaps in even very, very large ERP systems. So Sheetcast is a very, very good fit in streamlining some of those things, or helping you adapt some of those things that come out of large systems that end up in a spreadsheet that can be processed and be put back. So the answer is yes.
And I'll just add to that, as a custom software developer, we often get clients that want to build large, complex systems. And Sheetcast will be more and more the ubiquitous choice for doing that. But for some systems, we always say, well, we can do it, but in actuality, it might be better for you to go and get something off the shelf, because you're talking about a very rote piece of software that it's accounting software for the most part. Accounting software is accounting software. It follows generally accepted accounting principles. Building it custom is not worth the enormous amount of effort as just to go and find something and then integrate Sheetcast into the pieces that you want customized to your business. Okay, let's continue on with more app, because I want to make sure I get enough time to show you everything. We're running out of time fast. I'm going to, where am I? I'm going to switch to my inventory manager. This app obviously has a lot more pages. I've already shown you the dashboard. But now I'll go and show you a little bit about how we built the dashboard and maybe add a new element to the dashboard. So let me go back to our inventory manager app and open it up. And you guys can't see that very well, can you? Let me see if I can. It may make it look a little bit comical, but
that's
there we go.
Yeah.
Is that good?
Well, previously you had it just before you change it. That's a little smaller. That should be good there, Jason.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Will. So I'm going to go ahead and add a page to our app, and this is quite often how you build your app, and then start consolidating things. And I'm just going to take a minute to let you kind of absorb what's on the screen here. Just take a few seconds. And what we've really got is 4 categories of page types. Display pages, which are not really interactive. Interactive pages, where I can add, edit, delete. Container pages, which is where I can start doing layouts and gathering. And then, of course, I've got specialized interactive pages with more to come on all of these categories. You can see here signature capture is getting close. And you've already seen our map page. I want to add, what do they want to do? Actually, you know what? Here, let me just go and double check something here. Yeah, I've got some charts in here. Okay, so I'm going to add a report page. And I'll just call this my charts. And the source right now is the charts worksheet. But I need to switch that to something much more specific. I need to switch it to the actual chart. Which one of these charts do I want to show? So I'll just select the first one, save and exit. So I've just created a new page in my app. It took me seconds to do. And I'll take you back here and just quickly show you. This is all that particular function did. It was just created me a simple page because that's all I asked for. Now I'll go back and I'm going to go into my dashboard and I'm going to make a small edit. And what I'm going to do, I'm in advanced mode. I'm going to show you easy mode. Actually, let me stop there. I showed you something and I should explain it. There are 4 different ways that you can create your layout for a dashboard or create the container for all your pages. There's easy, which I'm going to show you. Advanced, which is Gives you a little bit more granular control of where things lay out. There's an Excel template, just like we built the Excel template for the form that we created. You can create an Excel template and drag in your pages to create your dashboard. And this is probably the only place in Sheetcast that I can think of where if you want to, but not because you have to, you can go into graphic designer mode and write a little bit of HTML. Just for the layout. It's just a layout tool. So we'll go back to easy mode. We'll add our charts report. And we'll go back and take a look at our dashboard. Oops. Dashboard. And you'll see very quickly I've now got a chart added. Now keep in mind, and maybe I'll get you to talk a little bit about this before we wrap up, because we're right up against the clock now. Keep in mind, these pages, these boxes, you can do whatever you want with them using the familiar tools you already have. The thing I want you to take away from today is how quickly and how easy it is to do, and how familiar this innovative product is. So I can have whatever I want on this dashboard. I can receive new items in my tabs, however I want to interact with it. Let's go back to my inventory count and show you real quick. Then I can also go in here, and I'm going to just look down here. If product 2 on hand is in blue, and let's change that. And we'll say, oh, that was a miscount. It's actually 30. And just do a quick refresh. Automatic panel refreshes are coming. And you can see it live updates as well. So I should stop there. And actually, Will, I'm gonna say the couple of things that I know you wanted to talk about, so we can get to some questions. So if you want to scan for questions,
absolutely, yep.
All of this is deployed securely. Remember, I told you we're somewhat of security experts in the fields that we work, other fields and products that we have. You can set up your own user rules and permissions. You can set up workflows. So, for example, if somebody adds a new product, maybe all they can do is add the product. Then accounting is notified to update pricing for a new product that's arrived. Or you receive a purchase order, you confirm that purchase order, and automatically your customer gets an email notification. All of those things are done and feel as familiar and as quickly and simply as the things that I've already had the limited time to show you. Well, let's answer some questions.
Yeah, we've got some great questions. Let me answer 2 questions first, Jason, that I think I can probably answer in one pass before I pass it to you to answer Alvaro's question also regarding pricing. So Sazenka, and once again, I apologize if I pronounced that incorrectly, had asked if the entire system is based on a relational style data structure. And sort of along those lines, Dwayne had also asked, is Sheetcast based on a single flat dimension, like a flat relational table? Excel is primarily a 2-dimensional tool with cross-dimensional mathematical and analytic capability. Excuse me. How do you take advantage of this capability? So that is entirely correct. So Sheetcast is based on a flat dimension. Like you said, flat relational table. So it is actually based off of your tables become your sheets. You can make it relational by having linked columns, so to speak, with VLOOKUPs essentially, or XLOOKUP, I guess is the new functionality. We have several clients that have it set up that way so that one sheet is related to another, one record is related to another in that perspective. So I hope I answered that question. If you have, if you want me to further delve into that, I'd be glad to do so in our lounge after the session.
I'll just interrupt you for 1 second. I just want to let everybody know, right after this session, we're going to move over to our Sheetcast lounge. I think Lena has posted the link in the chat. Please join us there. Will, we probably have time for one more quick one.
Absolutely. So the quick question is, how would the pricing model apply to a consulting company that wants to have its clients use the apps? Would the clients need a license? And that is a very good question.
That is a great, that's one of the things that we think Excel consultants are going to get really excited about. not only using it just for collecting and exchanging and presenting data with their clients, but also creating further stickiness with their clients by helping them build apps for their business. And I will say that a user, the simple answer is a user is anybody that's logging in securely to an app built with Sheetcast or to build with Sheetcast, because anybody can build with Sheetcast. That's the simple answer. If you want to continue that conversation though, please come join us over in our Sheetcast lounge. I want to make sure we get off right now. Just leave space for the next presentation to get ready and get on stage and make sure that they get the proper airtime. So thank you, everybody. Come fill up our lounge. We're going to be there for quite a while, probably the next half hour or longer if the conversation takes us there. I really appreciate everybody being here at the summit and checking out our product Sheetcast. You can also contact us at sales@sheetcast.com if you have any questions. We're monitoring that quite closely. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, Will, for joining me today.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, bye now.